thirsty, they never show no mercy. On the field or in the game, Miami knows how to play. Dolphins thirsty, we all get down and dirty. Tell you what you wanna know, it's the Dolphins Show. Quench your thirst for all things Miami Dolphins. They are the football kings, cause they play to win. Come on in and have some fun, whether we have lost or we have won. For all things Miami, it's Dolphins Thursday.
Hey, Miami Dolphin fans, it's a Finstastic Friday. Our Miami Dolphins are getting ready to take on the Buffalo Bills in a must-win game for both teams as far as the AFC East aspirations. It's going to be tough. I'm going to start a poll whether you guys think it's going to be more offensive or more defensive style football game. My gut says the Dolphins offense is going to have to step up this game and score a lot of points. Obviously, score more than Buffalo. That goes without saying. But it's a must step up game for the offense, I say. With all the guys we have out on defense, I just don't know how we're going to stop the Buffalo attack. It's going to be a tough game trying to stop them on that front. I'm going to see if I can start that poll real quick. Give me 1 second, guys. Yeah, well, hold on a second. Trying to get it up now. But anyway, I do think it's going to be needing to be. YouTube's not cooperating with me this morning. The poll doesn't want to start. So basically, the question is, do you find... Whoa, Vito from Georgia. Safe travels, my friend. I don't know if you drove up there or airplaned it, but whatever your way of be safe on the roads if you're traveling, and safe travels in the air if you're flying. Good for you to check in from Georgia today, Vito. Big fins up to you in the Peach State up there. So the Dolphins are down to basically Ogba and Van Dinkel as our edge rushers after losing Phillips earlier in the season and Chubb last week. We are now relying on Ogba, who's probably not even going to be on the team after this year due to contract issues, and Van Ginkel, who may not be on the team after this year. These are the two guys we're counting on to go out there and step up on defense. Hey, I did that drive this past summer. We went all the way up to the Carolinas, actually, but we went through Georgia, caught a baseball game in Atlanta. So I know that trip very well, Vito. So be safe. At least you're up in a different part. Florida's the worst part getting out of. I've done the Florida drive because I go to Gainesville all the time. So I do the Florida drive all the time. So at least when you're out of the state, at least it's some new scenery. Except for driving through Atlanta, it's a nightmare. I hope you avoided Atlanta. Nightmare driving in Atlanta. Ugh, I don't envy it. Makes South Florida traffic not too bad. Atlanta traffic is something nasty. Great. Now get back to the Dolphins for getting embarrassed. I'm not so sure about that, Michael K. Not so sure. I think it might be a pretty good game. I'm looking more for an offensive game from my Dolphins. As I was saying to start the show before you rolled in here, Michael K., because our defense is banged up. I don't know how we're going to stop you guys that easily. We got so many starters out on the D. We're going to have to match you with points this week. To me, it's going to be an offensive game. I was going to do that poll on YouTube, but YouTube's not cooperating with me today on the poll. I want to start the poll and it won't let me start it. So who knows? That's all right. It's an easy question. If you guys think it's going to be offense or defense, you can chime in on the chat. As I touched earlier in the game, earlier in the week, Josh Allen has dominated the Dolphins, unfortunately. So it's time for Miami to start putting offensive numbers up there themselves, because we are in less of a defense than we were earlier in the season. Yeah, we got Jalen Ramsey now, but we no longer have Chubb. We no longer have Jalen Phillips. Xavier Howard's banged up. It's going to be, all those guys aren't going to be playing. So there's no excuse, but they got to find a way to at least slow down the Buffalo attack. And we on offense have got to get back to rolling like some of the earlier games of the season where we put up big offensive numbers and, more importantly, not yards, but points. We need to knock the ball in when we get into the red zone. We have to pound it in. Field goals ain't going to get this done this week like they did against Dallas. You're going to have to put tutties on the board, Miami. I mean, if it's out Jalen Waddle, looking like it may be without Mozart, but you still got to find a way to get that ball into the end zone and beat the Buffalo Bills by scoring a lot of points this week, because I'm really concerned about the defense. And what can I say? We're going to have to get out there and do some scoring. All right, I'm giving up. I was trying to get the poll moving, but it ain't going to work. Good morning, Outback Oregon. Big fins up to you. That's the question of the day. There's a lot of players out, sir. There's a lot of players out. Waddle and Mozart both missed practice again yesterday. And quarterback Xavier Handry missed practice and is not expected to play. Obviously, Chubb is out. So Mozart and Waddle on the offense are the big names that are probably not going to play. Defense is a whole litany of players. And these guys were limited. I just have to look at notes real quick, guys. So let me look down. I can't run them all off the top of my head. There was 10 players limited yesterday. Devon Achane, Jerome Baker. He remains on injury reserve, but they can put Chubb on injury reserve and open up the spot for Jerome Baker. Duke Riley, David Long, Javon Holland, Lester Cotton, Teron Armstead, Austin Jackson, Liam Eichenberg, and Robert Hunt were all limited, but did participate in the practice, but all limited. They were not full participants. So, and Achan now he's had the knees, he had the toe, and now he had a rib injury. Isn't into, and he says he will play through it. And let's see, what did Hunt say? I can't find what I said about Hunt. He said, of course, I want to play Sunday. Taking it one day at a time, see how it goes. I feel good. Whatever is needed of me, I will do. I'm excited to play the game the way I like to play the game. I'm excited to be back on the field. So maybe some hope there from Hunt. We will see come Sunday. But other than that, guys, it's not too pretty on the injury front. But we just got to step up and play ready to go. Fins up football. No excuses to be had come Sunday night. Serious question. Are you concerned about someone? We will see, man. We will see. Of course, it's a concern. It's a concern. I was hoping our offensive line, because we didn't have Connor Williams when we played you the last time. So I was thinking, oh, okay, we're going to have but now, of course, again, here we are. No Connor Williams again. So that's disappointing. Armstead should be able to go, even though he's missed time this week. But yeah, I mean, of course, you don't want to be dominated. Of course, that's a big concern in the trenches on both sides of the ball. Somewhere on defense, the Dolphins have to step up. Like I said, missing Chubb, missing Jalen Phillips, those are big losses. Those are the guys that were getting pressure all year for the Dolphins. Now, Van Dinkle and Ogba are your primary guys, both going into Ogbaw's under contract for next year, but they're probably going to cut him due to bringing up salary cap move. Van Ginkel becomes a free agent. So it's not the best of ideal situation going into the last week of the season, but the good news is it's for the AFC East title. So we have that. They got a lot to play for, and I think they will play a lot better than they did against the Ravens. The Ravens hopefully woke the Dolphins up to where they know that they got to get back to serious business if they don't want to lose the AFC East title that they had a lock on all year almost. They had a secured grip, not a lock, but they had a grip, and now it's down to that. So we definitely need to get down in the trenches and dominate. We need to at least be able to run the football. Doesn't look like Mozart, like I said, is going to be in there, but Achan Wilson, whoever it takes to get the ball rolling on, keep the Bills honest so where they're not just coming to kill Tua on every play, knowing we're going to pass. Can't get behind on Buffalo. Just got to score, 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 and then score some more. Can't be punting the ball a lot to Buffalo because Buffalo has performed well against our defense in the past. And now we even got more players out. I was thinking we were going to have more players in by this game and it would be a different matchup. But it is what it is with injuries. I don't know. I don't believe in curses and jinxes, but man, sometimes I just feel like our Dolphins are jinxed in the injury front. Every year it seems like we got frontline players that can't go when the time's most important, when it's all on the line. Last year in the playoffs, there was no Tua, no Mozart. Here we are again at this point in the season. Now Mozart may be out again. It's just tough. It's just the way it goes though in football. And it's been a big injury, ugly question mark all year for us. But with that said, we still have the AFC East in our grasp. Sunday night in Hard Rock, which it was 1 p.m. Dolphins played better at 1 p.m. than they do at night for whatever reason. I know that's nothing to do, just like a jinx. It has nothing to do with reality, but for whatever reason, we do play better in the earlier games. And you can't even say it's the quality of opponent because we only beat New England by 1 touchdown this year. In the night game, we played them and we lost to Tennessee. So it's not like, oh, yeah, you play tougher teams, so that's why you lose at night. We've not played well at night for whatever reason. So I'm sure Buffalo were happy when that game got moved to the night. Doesn't matter. AFC East is right there for the taking, and we can get it done, guys. We can get it done. Michael K., I know you don't want the Dolphins to get it done, but the simple fact of the matter is Miami has to go handle business. Both teams are coming in with good winning records. There is a scenario that Buffalo doesn't make the playoffs if they lose to us, but a few things have to happen on that front that I'm not sure will happen. All we can do is worry about going out and winning, not worrying about knocking off Buffalo. We just got to knock off Buffalo for the AFC East. Can't worry about what games happen on Saturday, what happens earlier on Sunday, where the last game of the NFL season's regular season comes to a conclusion with the Dolphins and the Bills battling it out for the AFC East. Perfect ending to a fun season. Now just go get it done, McDaniel and crew. Go get it done. You can do it. I have faith in you guys. You can find a way to get this win in there. I don't know about that, Michael K. You were saying the Bills sucked earlier in the season. I remember you coming and saying, "Oh, my Bills sucked this year." So, they can come back to sucking one game again. They can go back. We will see. It'd be nice to see the Dolphins win. But I don't know. We will see, Michael K. I'm not 100% sold on it not happening. So we will see because there are times that teams step up and get a win that you don't expect. And the Dolphins could do that this week because they just got beat down. A lot of times teams step up after getting beat down. Pride kicks in. They go out there and they play well. And I think if our offense can get going against you guys, it's going to be a competitive game. It's going to be all on the offense to me, in my view. And that's what I'm looking for. Let me go back and try that poll one more time. And it doesn't want to start, so forget it. Let's see again. I want to try one more time. I keep it simple. Never mind. Forget it. I don't want to do it while it's live. I had it all set up before, and it wouldn't let me hit start poll. Maybe I can't do it. I don't know how Miss Fins does it. She's cool, man. She's slick. She does all these things while the show's moving live. I love it. Me, I can't look. I hate not looking at you guys talking because then I'm looking at the stupid poll thing. But Michael K., I know you think your Buffalo Bills are going to come in and squash Miami. I do feel like it's going to be a closer game than what you think. I think Miami will step up after that dismal performance in Baltimore. They will muster up enough to play a very solid game that's going to come down to the fourth quarter and could go either direction. I really feel that this it could be the way. If they get blown out, then I got more concerns than just about this season. Then I don't know. It just stinks that we've been brutalized on injuries because it would be a lot. It would be. I would be. I'd be honest. I'd be a lot more confident. Not making excuses, Mike Cookin, but I would be a lot more confident if we had Connor Williams at center, if we had Phillips and we had Chubb, we had Xavier Howard, because I sure as hell hope they don't try to put Cater Kohu on Diggs again or Eli Apple. It seems like they're going to avoid Cam Smith again from what, excuse me, what Fangio said. They seem like they're going to be avoiding Cam Smith. Gee, good morning, Dolphin John. Good morning. Yeah, we'll see. Bill fans are overtaking this, what they're saying, but who knows? It doesn't matter. You guys always love coming to Florida. What can I say? They always want to come to the Sunshine State. So it is what it is. So it's always been a lot of Bills fans and Jet fans. I give them that. They travel well. I mean, Jet fans, I think mainly just live here. We're overwhelmed with New Yorkers living down here. That's why you see so many Yankee caps walking around town and all the time throughout the year, and Jets and Giants. But for whatever reason, I see more Jets than Giant fans down here. We get the New York fans that like the Jets moving to South Florida. It seems like the Giant fans, I guess, are happy staying up in New York. The Jet fans are trying to come get some Florida magic. I don't know why. It's just how it seems to be rolled. Skylar held it down for us despite throwing snow. Yeah, I agree. Weather at least won't be an issue. So that's where home field definitely comes into play. I don't know what Buffalo's weather's like this week, but definitely don't have to worry about that. Adam, big fins up to you as well. Now, pop those thumbs up and tackle that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. But Adam, you're a regular, so I know you already have. Adam, what's your feeling this week on the game as we move forward, taking on the Bills for the AFC East? Adam, what's your feeling? And Dolphin Don, I didn't ask you that. Dolphin Don, what's your feeling heading into this week? I never know how Dolphin Don's going to roll. So that's a big meatball I'm throwing out there to Dolphin Don. I know he's a big fan, but I never know which way he's going to roll because he will point out things if it's not going well, and then he will point out the good when the things are going good. So we'll see what Dolphin Don has to say about this game. But getting back to, I'm trying to find a Cam Smith is what they said. So, barring injuries or something unexpected Sunday, cornerback Cam Smith, who was a very high pick for the Dolphins, will end his rookie season with just 18 defensive snaps in 17 games. So, basically, one play a game is what, he's been playing. And, he was our second round pick, our first pick, because we didn't have a first round pick. So, very disappointing that the Dolphins haven't gotten more out of Cam Smith. So, that's disappointing for the second rounder, considering Jalen Ramsey missed 7 games. Xavier Howard's been out. But what does that mean? He just still not going to go. In Howard's absence, Fangio said they're going to ride with Eli Apple and Cater Kohu again. And that's it. He didn't even say about Cam Smith. So that tells you where we stand. I don't expect to see Cam Smith rolling out this unless someone gets hurt during the game. We're not going to see Cam Smith. I don't know if that's more of a Fangio not like playing rookies, or it's more Cam Smith just isn't that good yet, because players do develop later on. So, or what do we have? So, or is it the combination? Fangio doesn't like playing rookies, and Smith just hasn't shown that he's really ready yet. Could be a combination of the both. Could be Fangio is ready to give him a chance. He just hasn't earned it. So that's a question I wish we had, because it's kind of like the Channing Tyndall of a couple seasons ago when we drafted him. We didn't have a first or a second, and Chindo was our third round pick with our first pick that year in the draft, and he doesn't see the field much either. So that's that's just you never know. So, oh, Dolphin Dawn is very positive. Tua is 22-5 at Hard Rock, including Titans debacle. I have all kinds of confidence. Not sure why Can Smith isn't. I know I don't get the Can Smith. Is he just not good, or is it Fangio doesn't like playing rookies? That is the unknown, and that's what I'm very curious on why they won't give Can Smith, Eli Apple, and Cater Cole. And I like Cater Cole. I like Cater Cole. He's a great story. You saw some of his story on Hard Knocks. Great guy. Came over, just picked up football late in life, went to small colleges, came in as an undrafted guy. Lo and behold, he's in the NFL. Super duper story. But do you want him covering digs? No. And that's what we had going up there. They have to find a way. Maybe they just have Ramsey shadow him. I'm not counting on it. They don't seem to like to do that. They did it one time this whole season. So, yeah. Well, I think he's 9-2. Don't give him that extra win yet, there, sir. I think he's 9-2 against the Dolphins in his career. Don't give him that 10 yet, sir, because it may become a 3 instead of a 10. And I think I said when I looked at, I would have to go back and find it, but I think he's 9-2 against the Dolphins. So don't go getting ahead of yourself. So yeah, he's 9-2 against the Dolphins. So 9-2, Michael K. He's not going to get to 10-2. Maybe you just jinxed it. So there you go. But yes, getting back to this game Sunday night, when the lights are on, the Dolphins haven't done that well this year for whatever reason. But I do believe they're going to, because they got smacked down so bad against Baltimore. You have to believe they're going to come out ready to win. And I think it's going to have to be more on the offense because the defense scares me this week with all the guys we have out. And we have guys out on offense, but we've seen to survive the injuries on offense a little better on the offensive line this year as we have than we have at other positions. Yes, no Moser, no Waddle. That's a blow. I wish we had them both, but you still got Tyreek out there. You know, he was walking around in a walking boot when house his house caught on fire, and so but Achan was walking around in a boot too earlier in the week, and he has rib injuries. But both of them should get out there and be able to play. And it's going to be dependent on Tua finding some other targets, finding some other ways. Durham Smythe made some nice catches against the Ravens before that game went south and got ugly. So there are ways to move the football, and Miami will have to do that this week because I just don't see our defense stopping Josh Allen and crew on a regular basis with our cast, unless Fangio draws up some great defensive game plan, switches something up to surprise Buffalo. But after that last week's performance against Baltimore, the defense is really concerning to me. And it's something that Miami has to fix and fix quickly if they want any hope this weekend and any more hope into the playoffs because you can't play defense like that and expect to advance into the playoffs. So you definitely got to get that. What's his record versus Tua at heart? Well, I will tell you this. Let me see. Um, Tua's only. Let me see. Before I guess, I'm gonna go down and tell you, sir. I know he has the one last year. Tua, though he played well in the December game last year, it was still a loss. This is I'm taking directly from Barry Jackson, the Miami Herald, so it's not my own notes on this one. So I have to cipher through it. Though he played well in December game in Buffalo last year, Tua is just 1-5 against the Bills with 5 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and a passer rating of 79.6. So Tua is 1-5 against the Bills, Dolphin Don. Against and that's his worst passer rating than any other teams he's faced multiple times in the division. and only a team that he's played at least twice. His passer rating's only lower against Tennessee because he's had two horrible games against Tennessee in his worst games, actually. And then where he only had a 70-point passer rating against Tennessee in both of those games. So that was ugly performance from Tua against Tennessee. So yes, for whatever reason, Tua struggles against Buffalo and Allen shines against Miami. So that's a big difference right there. We gotta somehow get Tua going against, hey, I like that. Fins up, Buffalo down. Good one. Timothy Washington. Thank you for dropping in here this morning. And like I said, I think today's going to be a shorter show, but yeah, he has done not well against Buffalo. That's per Barry Jackson. Guys, if you want to do your own research, I didn't do my own research. I just took Barry Jackson. I figure he's getting paid. So he's probably telling us the truth and he's not going to slant something in favor of Buffalo. So that's per Barry Jackson, not my own football reference like I normally do. I got it directly from Barry Jackson of the Miami Herald for my proper footnotes. And that's where we struggle against Buffalo. That Tua has not stepped up against Buffalo for whatever reason. So that's why Michael K doesn't respect him because when he sees him, he sees bad Tua. Just like me, I have respect for Allen because when he goes against the Dolphins, he does great. But then you read his number against some other teams this year, you're like, ugh, how does he destroy the Dolphins? And he barely gets by in some of these games. So it's just weird. He just had, like I said, maybe the Dolphins looked at him the wrong way in the scouting process. He thought a coach, gave him a crooked eye or something. Who knows? It's just like he comes out and he beats down on the Dolphins for whatever reason. It's weird. Yeah, no, you're right, Dolphin Don. Just an improvement to it's a way, it's building. He just has to step up and beat Buffalo this week. And that would be another narrative that Tua can erase. Like I said, there's no excuses to me on the offensive side of the ball. Yes, we're banged up on the offensive line. And yes, we're probably going to have no Moser and Waddle, but we still got Tyreek. We still got Tua tossing the football. We still got other weapons that we can work in there. And we got A-Chan who can make a difference. So we can do things. And I think we're going to have to just go out there. To me, if we win, it's going to have to be an offensive game from the Dolphins because I really don't have much faith in our defense right now. And I hope I'm wrong. And we come back in here on Monday morning and we're talking about how the Dolphins miraculously shut down the Bills. But I have a hard time believing our defense is going to shut down the Bills. So we're going to have to find a way to put points on the board every single chance we get, not settle for field goals, get touchdowns, keep it simple. Let's see. Some of Tua's versus thought we didn't really have a roster. Buffalo star. Yes, this is true, Timothy. In the first couple years, the Dolphins were not the team they are now. You are right, 100% correcto mundo. As I said yesterday, and I still don't know if it was Fonzie or Richie Cunningham that said that. I know it was in Happy Days, but correcto mundo, you are right. Some of those earlier Dolphin teams were really bad, and Buffalo was already fighting for Super Bowl and moving into they didn't get to the Super Bowl, as we all know, but they were fighting hand in hand with Kansas City in the playoffs and Cincinnati and all that while we were still building our roster. So that is true. So you can't compare some of those earlier Tua seasons as opposed to this one, though. But this one, we didn't. He started off well against Buffalo this year, and then the whole game just went south. And that was bad. Hey, Aquavision, big fins up to you, Aquavision. Boom. Thank you for hopping in there, sir. He's giving you a good morning, guys. He's giving you a good morning. And I see you're welcome Aquavision as well. So, yes, though, that was a great point, Dolphin Don. Some of that was in the season when he didn't have as much talent on the team. The whole FC sucked when he went on there. Yes, New England was very fortunate during the run because Buffalo sucked, the Dolphins sucked, and the Jets all sucked, and New England basically had the AFC East wrapped up by mid-season because all of the Dolphins would get their one win against New England each year for whatever reason. But other than that, New England just ran roughshod over the whole AFC East. Now that New England finally knocked off, Buffalo had their stretch of running over the division the past 3 seasons, but at least it's been tighter battles now. New England is absolutely knew they had the AFC East wrapped up, and all they had to worry about was, seeding in the playoffs. So you brought up a very good point. The Patriots run was just I think that's why we're all like, ugh, Patriots. At least they're not up there anymore. But it's fun watching them not be very good. But with that said, all that matters. Sunday night, Hard Rock Stadium, Dolphins versus Bills. Bills at Miami, however you want to word it, for all the marbles of the AFC East. This can still be. And we know the season has gotten a feel of it. Hasn't been as good as we were hoping it was earlier in the season. It's kind of fading into more concerns again. But you can go regroup, circle the wagons, come out rejuvenated, beat Buffalo, win the AFC East, and it's one building block upon a foundation you can build, something that you can get, confidence in that you went out and actually accomplished your goal of winning the division, because every team wants to win their division. It's the best course of action to the playoffs. It guarantees you a playoff spot, and it guarantees you a home playoff game. So to get that, kudos to Mike McDaniel and crew for weathering through the storm to stay on top of the AFC East all year. So let's just see how it plays out this week. This should be fun. Hey, Jason, didn't see you sneak in there. Yes, I agree with everything. Please, let's get that W. That's the only stat at the end of the day that matters. I don't care about the yards. I don't care about this. All we care about is points, because points lead to the W, and that's what we need. I don't care if Tua has 500 yards or 209 yards. If we get a victory in the 209 yards of passing, hey, that's what we need. Stats are fun, but winning is essential. And that's what the Dolphins need to do this week. They just need to find a way, will themselves to victory, go out there and show why they've been on top of the division all year. This is your chance to take control. Ideally, you wouldn't have wanted to come down to this final game against your division rival, but that's how the football gods, as you basically put it, saw fit to write this season. And it's coming down to winner take all for the AFC East in 2023, very last game of the season, which is funny. When the season first opened, I thought that could very well decide the AFC East. Little did I know, though, that the Dolphins would have a 3-game lead at one point, and then, kind of just tinker out, unfortunately. That Tennessee game is going to kick us in the butt. If we had just won that Tennessee game, boom, we're there. But hey, we didn't. It's a game we have to eat as an L, and it sucks. But let's just hope we regroup this week and get back out there. Honestly, I hope next year the whole AFC makes the playoffs with the Dolphins winning it. Just brag to the rest of the NFL we have the best division. That'd be a very stressful season, though, Timothy. But yes, as long as we win it, that's your key phrase there. I can agree upon that deal right there. And the AFC East is good. I mean, the AFC Jets took a back seat this year because they lost Aaron Rodgers from like 5 plays or 4 plays into the season. They lose Aaron Rodgers, which I don't wish injury upon anyone, never have, never will. But that was a big blow to them because that was their franchise guy they brought in. He was going to change the face of the New York Jets franchise and get them out of their dismal few seasons past. And then lo and behold, he's done before you even got comfortable in your seat on that first game against the Buffalo Bills. And next thing you know, they're rolling out Zach Wilson again. So it is what it is. You just never know. But if the Aaron Rodgers comes back next year, yes, the Jets are going to be more competitive. Buffalo's always going to be competitive. Dolphins can still be competitive. They're going to have to do some tinkering with salary cap this offseason, but they should still be able to bring out a very competitive roster. And New England is New England. They're always going to be somewhat competitive. They're never a pushover. So it could be right. But of course, we don't worry about next year. Next year, we got to worry about this Sunday night at the Rock. I guess, Michael K, you're not one of the millions of Buffalo fans invading South Florida this week. From your comments, it sounds like you're not coming down here, but it will be a lot of Buffalo fans. I saw an airplane full of them coming down. Doesn't matter. End of the day, it's still your home stadium, your home cooking. Go out there, take care of business, Miami, and send them home unhappy, traveling back to Buffalo as losers instead of a happy flight back. That's what we need. Good morning, Back It Up Ben's podcast. Big Fins up to you. Ooh, 26 degrees in Jersey. Hope it's warm. Yeah, it's nice and warm right here in South Florida right now. And Back It Up Ben's cat. And I think it's going to be like in the 70s at game time, probably on Sunday night. If it had been earlier in the day, may have been in the 80s. But at night, it gets down to like the 70s at this time of year. So, but it's not going to be cold. So that's good. It's not going to be so humid that they're going to melt and have an excuse on the sideline for being in the heat. It's a night game, so there's not going to be whining about unfair practice. So the visiting team having to be in the sun, so we don't have that to our advantage this time. So just go out there and kick some butt. Let's see. I think Vic will coach his best. Well, I hope so, Timothy. I hope so. Because they're doing it without a lot of the defensive starters that we had hoped and called upon and wanted. So he's going to have to call a good game. And I don't know if you were in the show earlier, Timothy, when I mentioned that Cam Smith will not be playing much. They're going to roll with Eli Apple and Kate Kohu in place of Xavier Howard. So I was hoping maybe this would be the Cam Smith show that he can play because we know what these other guys can do. But Fangio obviously has more faith in Apple and Kohu than he does Cam Smith at this point in his career. So it is going to be what we see out there. I just hope somehow Allen has scored 93 points in 2 games against Fangio. Good snow weather. I guess he's referring to the Back It Up Bins podcast weather because it's definitely not snow weather here in South Florida. So I'm assuming he's talking to Back It Up Bins podcast. And guys, like I always say, check out some of the Back It Up Bins podcast shows. Really cool stuff, all kinds. Can't even describe what he has because it's all over. It can be a movie trivia, it could be immaculate grid stuff, could be focusing on a player in NFL history, baseball history. You never know what you get, but check out his shows. They're really cool videos over there. Well, I hope, Timothy, I hope you're right. You sound a lot more confident than the Dolphins seem in him. I had that faith too. I thought he was a really good pick. I was like, "Ooh, man, cornerback's not what I thought we needed. Maybe we could have got a tight end or another offensive lineman or something." But then you see Cam Smith and you read about him, and he was rated very highly. So he said, "Yeah, you can always use a defensive back." And I end up liking the pick, but he hasn't played at all. So I guess Achan's been a great pick. That's been definitely our best pick of that draft. He stepped up and played really well. If it wasn't for injuries, he would have been up there in the running for some awards. It wouldn't, I mean, nothing he does would have got him like rookie of the year or anything with, the quarterback out in Texas and stuff, Stroud. But hey, he could have stepped up there. Last week. Apple has a lot to prove from his, yes, from last week. I know what your last week means. But so yes, Apple has a lot to prove from his performance from last week. Yes, I agree on that. And he better because he better be at least if he's on Diggs, maybe it's better than Cole on Diggs because that was the mismatch of mismatches in that first game up there. If the Dolphins don't learn from that and have Diggs on him a lot, I mean, has Kehu on Diggs a lot, then I don't know what to say. I don't want to see that again. I've already seen that movie and it doesn't end nicely. So let's rewrite the storyline and at least have someone else on Diggs this week. Yes, Fangio does not like rookies for whatever reason, but it makes sense with how, yes, it does make sense, and especially with how he's not playing the young man, Cam Smith, at all. Maybe he just doesn't trust him, as you said. Who knows? Or it's just simply Cam Smith isn't showing it in practice because we're not out there at practice every single day watching them do their drills and timing them in their drills and then all the things that they do during the course of the week in preparations, film study, game study. We don't know where Cam Smith stands on that. All we know is he's a second round draft pick that we think has talent based on his college game, but it hasn't come into the pros yet. So what do we really know? If we were out there watching practice every day, we may be like, oh yeah, that's why Cam Smith's out there. But of course, going against our receivers in practice every day is not the most fair assessment. If he said, "Hey kid, go cover Tyreek Hill one on one," and if you cover him well, you just play. Who wants that assignment? So that's tough. I wanted us to draft Allen, but Tua has turned out to be really good. Yeah, Dolphin done, but Allen was gone before the Dolphins would have had to trade it up like Buffalo did or whatever. So I mean, but you're right. I think the Dolphins liked him that draft, but they were just standing pat. Like, if you see a guy, you got to go grab a guy. So, but that's all for draft talk later in the future when the off season rolls around and we're stretching for things to talk about. I won't go every single day during the off season because what are we going to talk about? I mean, today we don't have our normal big audience, but we got the good ones. We got the Michael K's and we got the Outback Orchids. We got the Back It Up Bins podcast and we got Timothy Washington and all the other great comments that Dolphin Don Outback Orchid, all you guys. Jason, if Jason is still in here, Aquavision. I'm going back to all you guys because I am going to end the show early today. Adam, Sotdowski, Vito, all you guys made appearances. It's awesome. Let's see. Against the lowly Pats. And what was that in reference to? Backing up Kelly has a tough game as they come. Okay, I missed all your. Oh, give me Gambler, Jim Kelly on both Allen and who. You know what's funny? If that's the team I think of, Jim Kelly on the Houston Gamblers. That was the one USFL team I kind of rooted for because they were so much fun to watch, man. They would put up points, kind of like the '84 Dolphins, man. They would sling that. I think Ernest Givens was on that team, and someone else was on, and Kelly. They would sling that ball all around. That was some fun. But then, of course, once Kelly went to Buffalo, I can no longer root for him. He had played for University of Miami, and then he was fun to watch for the Houston Gamblers. And then, though, he became a dreaded Buffalo Bill eventually, and the rest is history. We're here because you have a bit. Thank you, Outback. Big kudos to you. I do it because of all you guys having fun. I just do it to talk football. Lots of fun. Always fun to talk football and Miami Dolphins in particular with you guys. Yeah, I know. No problem, man. When Miss Fins runs late, I get a lot of her people over here. So no problem, man. Miss Fins, the OG, man. She is awesome. Love me some Miss Fins. She rocks and she rolls every single morning. And legendary, she went like 3 hours. She started way before me and ended way after me. I'm like, holy crap. I cannot, I ramble on a lot, but man, 3 hours straight. Miss Fins is the marathon lady of the year. That is awesome. I could not talk 3 straight hours. She rode yesterday. That is super, man. I thought that was really great. But thank you, new attitude, and make sure you pop those fins up buttons because I'm about to wrap it up here. You guys are all super. Like, okay, what can I say? I know you're going to be in here Monday morning, whether the Dolphins win or the Bills win and whatever. So we will see how it goes. Hopefully, I'm the happy one and you're the mad one. That's what I want. Be honest. So that's what I'm hoping for. Miami just needs to get moving here in 2024. Pretend it's like the first week of the season because it's now in 2024. And the Dolphins always play well early in the season. Just pretend now that's the 2024 season already. Go out there, play well, take care of business, Miami, man. This is your chance to take the AFC East for the first time since what 2008, whatever it is. I get tired of saying the year, but it's been way too long. It's the year um, Tom Brady got hurt. So it's been way too long since we've been a dominant team in the AFC East. So this is our chance to go out there, at least get one home playoff game. It's long overdue for Dolphin fans to have that home playoff atmosphere. Yes, back it up, Ben. That will do, man. And of course, it's going to be a lot more enjoyable if our Dolphins come out on the plus side of points against the Buffalo Bills. And that would be much more fun and enjoyable. End of the day, it's just a game. But man, it's a game that's so much more fun when your team wins and makes life a little more fun during the course of the work week, school week, whatever kind of age group we got going on here. It makes it just a little bit of fun. That's what we all watch. I hope to get to see our teams win. That's why we root for them after all. We don't root for them to lose. We root for them to win. So let's go out there, Miami. I think Miami will step up and have a good game. I'm not ready to I will give my pre-game prediction on the Sunday morning pre-game show with Steve Malloy and crew, and we will see. What are your top 3 Dolphins receivers? Chris Chambers, Jarvis Landry, and Jalen Waddle are Timothy. And back it up, Ben podcast says Paul Warfield and then everyone else. And I would agree it's going to be Paul Warfield. He's up there. But I'm going to go from my generation of watching. So here I go. You got Mark. I'm going to go alphabetical because the Marx brothers are just tick and tack for me. Mark Clayton, Mark Duper. And then I'm going to go with, I like OJ McDuffie a lot too, but I'm actually going to go with another guy from that. I like Nat Moore. Nat Moore he's not going to be on a lot of people's list, but I like Nat Moore. He was just like that third receiver towards the end of his career, beginning of Marino's career. He would go out there and perform. But definitely Mark Clayton, Mark Duper. Threw me on the spot. Wasn't really thinking. Some of the younger guys are great too. I mean, Irvin Fryer came and had a couple good seasons with Marino. OJ McDuffie was, but I'm going to go Nat Moore. I'm just going to go because those were the days that I watched. The guy could go Doyle Harris. I'm going from my generation, JB. Back it up in podcast. Don't yell at me because I know Part Wilfield would be up here on the receivers list. But as far as my eyeballs watching, rooting for as a fan that I remember, Mark Duper, Mark Clayton, Mark Duper, Nat Moore, kaboom. There you go. Those are my 3. Oh, Aranda, Gasson, and Chambers. Yes, Nat Moore, the helicopter. That's what he's best known for against the Jets. But he did so many other things too. He caught a touchdown pass against the Chicago Bears, and the night we took them from the undefeated ranks. I was at that game. Yeah, I mean, Chambers, another guy, he's up there. OJ McDuffie was a baller. We had a lot of good guys over the years. I mean, heck, Tyreek may be the best as far as this Pearl Scare level that we've had in a long, long time. He doesn't have that long time Dolphin feel yet, but just from a skill level set that's worn the Miami Dolphin uniform to step on the field as a Miami Dolphin, Tyreek Hill and Waddle would both be up there. And Waddle if he stays a Dolphin his whole career, could be very well mentioned among the best because he's had 3 1,000 yard seasons already. The young man has to stay healthy, but if we can keep him long term in the Dolphins uniform, he could be one of those guys that talked about like Duper and Clayton in the future. So there's a lot of great guys. Episodes like that, Timothy, we're going to hammer in the off season. I'm going to bring out an episode on my 5 top Dolphin players of all time. I got a lot of things planned for the off season, but I hope that's all extended because I like talking about week to week games. The longer, the better, makes it more entertaining. But I will come out with the Dolphin Thirsty top 5 players of all time. But mine's going to be a little different. They're going to have to have been drafted by the Miami Dolphins or signed by Miami first. So that would rule out Larry Little. That would rule out Paul Warfield. It's going to be my 5 top players drafted that were originally Dolphins. They could have gone somewhere at the end of their career and played, a la like a Jason Taylor and whatever, but stayed basically primary as a Dolphin during the prime of their years. And that's going to be a fun list. And then I'm going to do position group rankings. I'm going to do all kinds of fun stuff. I can't wait. Brian Hartline. I think of Ohio State now when I think of Brian Hartline. Oh, Tony Martin, man, you guys are really Joel Harris. Joel Harris was part. Joel Harris was part of the hook and lateral play in the infamous Chargers game. He's the one that actually caught it, then flipped it to Tony. Don Strock threw it. Joel Harris caught it lateral to Tony Nathan. Tony Nathan to the house touchdown. We lost that game, but it's still a play that game hooked me in. I would never forget that game. That's the game that made me become my first true memories of the Dolphins was that playoff game when we lost too. And I still just became so hooked to the Dolphins. That's the first game I ever felt invested in as a Dolphin that I remember being like, oh my God, we lost. That's that first game. So it's what hooked me in. And then, who knew they were hooking me in for all this disappointment, but it's still fun. At the end of the day, it's fun watching these guys run around in the aqua and orange, no matter what logo they have. I like the older logos better, but I still rock this logo too because it's part of Miami Dolphins history. Yeah, Devon Best, he was good. Brian Hartline. I mean, yeah, we had a lot of good guys, man. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. I see why he's cheating because he didn't stick with everything. But hey, I would do a top 5 receivers of all time too. And like I say, I'm going to do top 5 Dolphins of all times, and I would do top 5 each position maybe at some point. Well, and the Dolphins at center. Well, I won't do top 5 centers, but maybe like top 5 offensive linemen. But 2 of our centers are great when you think of we had 2 Hall of Fame centers play for the Dolphins over the years. So that was nice. I wish we had a Hall of Fame. Hey, Connor Williams was playing great this year until he got hurt. So that stinks. Anyway, guys, big fins up. It's a lighter crowd, but a super crowd. That's how I look at it. And I loved it. I'm happy you guys came in and nailed those thumbs up and gave me a little bit of attention on this Finstastic Friday. Looking forward to the pregame show on Sunday morning, 10 a.m. Steve Malloy, maybe Courtney would join us as well. So that'd be nice. And then we will all be watching that game Sunday night at the Rock against the hated Buffalo Bills. And hopefully we come out on the winning side and life would be good in South Florida for at least a week until the first playoff game. So let's go Dolphins. Fins up to all you guys. Jimmy Suffalo, look at that. Boom, Jimmy Suffalo. There's a name. He was actually Marty Booker. Man, you guys are all doing good old names from the past. I'm telling you, it's going to be a fun when we in the off season. We're going to do episodes like that. That's how we're going to roll. It helps pass the time, and we will do all kinds of stuff like that. So, guys, with no further ado, I'm out of here. You guys rock. Thank you for coming in today. And for you non-shift workers, have a great weekend. for you shift workers, which I did for basically my entire career. Be safe out there. Enjoy whatever your Friday becomes. Because that's what shift work, would always ask the person, when's your Friday? So for you guys that do shift work, that weekends aren't any different than any other day of the week. Go out there, be safe working. For you guys that get the weekend off, go have fun, kick butt, enjoy, get ready for that Sunday night game, and we will see how it goes. It's gonna be looking forward to it. Yeah, shift worker. Hey, I'm with you, Dolphin Don. Spent my whole career as a shift worker. And it's just your only holidays was if it happens to fall on a holiday, you get off. That's your holiday. So that's how it goes. If your regular day off, your RDO, as we called it in our business, if your RDO fell on Christmas, you were off on Christmas. If it didn't, you were working. So that's just how it goes. But I love all you shift workers and all you 9 to 5ers out there. Hey, Red Bright and Bills, you just missed it. But I still would have loved to get you on the show at some point. But here we are. Week is basically over. But one of these days we will, if we face each other in the playoffs, we will have to arrange something. But if you can, you did give me a Bills up. I give you a Fins up. And if we can even it out by you bopping the thumbs up, we are called it even. And I'm out of here. On that note, you guys rock. Have a great weekend for you non-shift workers. For you shift workers, still have fun, but be safe at work. And I am gone. Life is great. You guys are great. Dolphins kick butt.
Dolphins thirsty, they never show no mercy. On the field or in the game, man, he knows how to play. Dolphins thirsty, we all get down and dirty. Tell you what you wanna know, it's the Dolphins Show.